What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again talking my Alabama Crimson Tide and the issues that we are having right now. But before I get started, I want to ask you a question. How many of you watching this video think my Alabama Crimson Tide can run the table and get into the playoffs? Because I don't. I think those chances are slim to none. And I'm leaning more towards none. So if you think this Alabama team can run the table and make it to the playoff, please give me the reason of why you think that. Because I'm about to give you the reason why I think it won't happen. First of all, ever since my Alabama Crimson Tide walked into the locker room in week 5, game 4 against the Georgia Bulldogs, they have been on the decline. The team that walked into the locker room in week 5, game 4 against those Georgia Bulldogs is not the team that walked out of the locker room that afternoon, September 28th, or that night. It is not the same team. The team that walked out of the locker room in Tuscaloosa, September the 28th, that team has given up more rushing yards than I done seen any Alabama team give up. That team is a penalty-laden team. Now, I know that my Alabama Crimson Tide teams of the past, maybe 2 or 3 years, and had penalty issues. But damn. You got a coach, an offensive line coach, that had the best offensive line last season. To this. Come on now. Make it make sense. I know it ain't all on the offensive line with these penalties. It's on several guys. All right? Since this Alabama team that came out the locker room September 28th, discipline or lack of discipline. We got a lack of discipline on this team. Severe lack of discipline. No situational awareness. All right? Now, I understand that people will jump on Malachi Moore. I don't see nothing wrong with what Malachi Moore did. I just wish he'd have did it sooner. Maybe it would have put some fire in these guys if he'd did it sooner than later. So I don't have no problem with what Malachi Moore did. All right. The game was over any damn way. But for Kendrick Law to do what he did in that situation, 4th and 7, to do what he did to make it a 4th and 22. I understand that the guy was chirping in his ear and all that. But you got to be better than that because of the situation that you in. Maybe we could have picked up a 4th and 7. But when it's 4th and 22, ain't no way in hell. Unless you our defense, I'll put it that way. Unless you our defense. All right? But Alabama wasn't picking up no 4th and 22. And that was on Kendrick Law. You can't do that in that situation. That's what I mean by situational awareness. Another thing with situational awareness, when you got 3rd and 15, 4th and 15, 4th and 9, 3rd and 17, you got to try to get pressure on that quarterback and get him off his spot. Force him into a mistake or force him into getting the ball out of his hands. But we don't do that. We'll do it on 2nd down. But when it's 3rd and 4th down, we don't do it. Wrong plays at the wrong call. Wrong calls at the wrong time. On the defensive side of the ball, also on the offensive side of the ball too. Because you got it at the damn 3-yard line, or I'll say inside the 5, and you trying to throw the ball to the shortest receiver on the field, the shortest and the lightest, even though he's a dynamic player and to make dynamic plays. You got a 6'5", 320 receiver right over here. Wrong receiver. Wrong call in that situation also. which takes me back to situational awareness. It's a damn shame. We got a team that the defense can't have the back of the offense when the offense is lacking. Or we got a defense, when the offense is off, the defense can't hold the other team until the offense get going. We got an offense, when the defense is off, they can't score at a rate, to hold the other, to stay in the lead of the other team. I'll just put it that way. This offense is scoring less and less points every game since September 28th. Less and less. Makes no sense. The defense, in terms of giving up yards, is the worst defense since 1998 in terms of yards allowed. Now this defense, damn Kane Womack talking about a swarm defense and see ball, get ball, talking about your Bandits and Wolves, but yet is giving up more yards than any team since 1998. It's a damn shame. It's a damn shame. You just let these teams run up and down the field, pass on you like it ain't nothing, in hopes of getting a turnover. I mean, damn. I would rather get the offense off the field on third down instead of trying to get a fucking turnover. Just get the offense off the field. It's third down and 5. Shit, they can run for 3 yards before they even make contact, and then when they do make contact, they trying to rip the ball out. Just get them on the fucking ground before you pick up the extra 2 yards. Makes sense. It's third down any damn way. And like I said, freaking Tennessee last week, running backs gaining damn near 4 yards to carry before they even make contact. What? But it's a swarm defense, though. These are just some of the reasons why I don't think this team can run the table and make the playoffs. And if they happen to run the table the way they playing now, you won't make it far in the playoffs any damn way. I'm ready for fucking basketball season. I mean, Jesus, man. Jesus, man. We giving up 352 yards a game. You know, Mike Shula defenses wasn't even giving up that. Maybe one of them. But we say Mike Shula was so bad. Mike Shula did have a 10-2 season one year, though. But anyway, Mike Shula had teams that was giving up 75 yards rushing, 90 yards rushing, maybe 110, maybe. But we giving up, I believe we giving up 141 yards rushing right now per game. Per game. This season, we've only held 2 teams to under 132 yards rushing. That was first game. Western Kentucky, we held them, I believe, 46 yards rushing, 42 yards rushing or something, 42 yards rushing. We held Georgia to only 80 yards rushing. All right? But guess what? You gave up 206 to South Florida. You gave up 149 to Wisconsin. You gave up 166 to Vandy. You gave up 132 to South Carolina and 214 to Tennessee. That's all rushing yards. And since you came back on the field in week 5, game 4 against those Georgia Bulldogs, like I said, three games since then, 166 yards rushing to Vandy, 132 to South Carolina, 214 to Tennessee. That's the past 3 games. And even after the half against Georgia, you gave up over 370 yards passing in just the second half. 370. Well, 376 to be exact, I believe. That's how much we gave up passing in the passing game in the second half against Georgia. And then just this past week, You gave up 170 rushing yards to Tennessee just in the second half. So what would make me think this team could win out and go to the playoffs? Please, somebody let me know. We can't stop nobody, and we through the air or on the ground. We can't put points on the board. Our quarterback is on the decline. His numbers declining. I mean, damn. But yet, we got Alabama fans that are saying this team can go to the playoff. And when I'm talking about Jalen Milroe on the decline, against Georgia, he threw for 374 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Vanderbilt, 310 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. So he threw for 64 yards less. All right. South Carolina, 209 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. That's 101 yards less than the week prior. And 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Against Tennessee, 239 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So he done threw 5 touchdowns and 6 interceptions since game 4. Lord have mercy, man. 5 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Decline and less yards in every one of them. Against Georgia, 82% completion rate. Against Vanderbilt, 75% completion rate. Against South Carolina, 70% completion rate. And against Tennessee, 56% completion rate. It ain't good. Lowest percentage rate out of all those games, and he threw the ball more. 45 times. 45 passing attempts for a whole 239 yards. We ain't going to no playoffs. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. You should know that if you're an Alabama fan, or if you follow the trend, you should know that. I done told y'all that we looking at right now, even though we 5-2, but the path that Alabama is on, you looking at 2000, 2006, 2000 through 2006. You looking at the 80s teams. That's what you looking at, part of the 90s. You looking at it right now with the path that this team is on. That it might be next year might be a lot different, a lot better. But for the rest of the season, that's what you're going to be looking at. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. You got to live in reality and stop fooling yourselves. You got to, man. You got Caleb Odom. Like I say, the locker room is divided. You ain't telling me nothing. You got Caleb Odom reposting tweets saying the pass that got intercepted, the fade pass from the 3-yard line that got intercepted should have came to him, in which I agree. He retweeting that. You going to a 5'11", 175-pound receiver instead of going to a 6'5", 230-pound receiver? Somebody tweeted it. Caleb Odom reposted it. He reposted 2 tweets saying the ball should have went to him. Then you got CJ Dupree coming out on yesterday talking about matter of fact, let me see what CJ Dupree said. CJ Dupree said there need to be an emphasis on just taking pride in the small things. Don't get bored with the basics. Get back to what we supposed to wear. Shirts tucked in. 5 to 10 minutes early to meetings. Not all this late stuff. Not doing what you want to do. You're damn right. Not all the late stuff. It's a damn shame. He also said, just little things like that carry over to the football field, because then you take one wrong step, one wrong thing, it just carries over. So you got to act everything all throughout the day. Going to class on time. Everything is like what you want to do on the football field. He also mentioned, man, he also mentioned that some people late to meetings. Because he said, oh, okay. Yeah, he did say shirts tucked in 5 to 10 minutes early to meetings, not all this late stuff. Yes. It's crazy. So you late to meetings. And your coaches allow that. That's part of the reason. It's discipline issues. You ain't being held accountable. You can be late to meetings that say, hey, I had to do this or whatever. Oh, okay, go ahead and sit down. If that's the case. But I remember Dion kicked his own son out of a team meeting because he was 5 minutes early. Dion started the meeting a little early. And his son was 5 minutes early. Dion kicked his ass out. Accountability. Now, I didn't agree with Dion kicking him out, even though he was early. But that's what he did. So these players are giving us a little bit. So from what they saying, you can get a idea. Discipline. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I don't know how I don't see a path for this team to make it to the playoff. From the way they've been playing, from the discipline issues, from the lack of holding each other accountable, and the lack of the coaches holding the players accountable. I just don't see it. I don't see it. You got AJ McCarron that came out the woodworks. All of these former players are coming out the woodworks, man. All of them. You got AJ McCarron coming out. You always had McElroy. You always had him talking. You got Marvin Constant on the Bama Standard. Smoke Dixon. You had Landon Collins on there. All them guys on there talking. Now, what is his name? Whoever it was, one of those safeties that used to play for Alabama. I don't forgot his damn name. I think it was Landon Collins. He on the Bama Standard talking. All of them. All of them. But it is what it is. McCoy, former cornerback. They highly upset with this Alabama team. And you can't tell. Those are the guys that wore the crimson and white. Not to mention Mark Ingram, freaking Damian Harris. All those guys. These are the guys that wore the crimson and white. These are the guys that lived the Bama Standard. They know what it takes. They lived it. And guess what? Mark Ingram, Heisman Trophy winning running back. Even daggone Jay Coker done spoke on this shit. And you can't tell me they don't know what they talking about. Because they lived it. They lived it. So it is what it is. So I done gave y'all my reasons. Matter of fact, AJ McCarron say we just didn't have that shit back then. It was a team sport. You came together as a team because you had one common goal. And guess what? Look like this team don't have the same goal because you knew that's how you were going to make your money was by winning. Well, that ain't the case now because guess what? They making their money anyway. That's not a knock on the coaching staff or a knock on anybody. It's just a different era. I think it's something that you're going to have to buckle up if they're not ready for it. And it's clear they weren't ready for it. He also says, I think for sure the standard that everybody was used to for so long after Alabama fans went through a bunch of hell leading up to those glorious days. I think it's definitely a different era. I don't think you will see the same standard from discipline. You ain't. Not right now, you ain't. Just things that the team seems to do. It's a new day and age. Everybody's worried about fucking TikTok and having a reel and being on highlights for their own personal self and personal gain and how much money they can get from the NIL. Now, listen, I know a lot of people think it's NIL. A lot of people saying it's NIL. I don't think it's NIL. Because guess what? Players at Georgia getting NIL. Players at Ohio State. Players at Oregon. Players at Tennessee. They getting NIL. Come on now. Shit, Indiana, what? They freaking 7-0. I bet some of those players getting NIL. And they definitely ain't getting as much NIL money as some other guys at Ohio State or Georgia or Alabama. Come on now. It ain't the NIL. You seen how Georgia, that defense performed against Texas in a big game. You seen it. A game that they really didn't have to have. But in their minds, it's a must-win game. That's how Alabama should have took this game. It's a must-win game. But they didn't. They didn't. But I don't believe it's the NIL. Because everybody got NIL. But guess what? You still got those players that's going out there playing hard, putting their life on the line. Not their life, but putting their body on the line for their team. Playing team ball. And like I said in my reaction video, you seen how that Georgia defense stepped up. Georgia defense, in my mind, has been lacking the last few games, but they stepped up in that big game, a game that I feel like that they feel like that they have to have, or had to have. Alabama, they should have felt like they should. We gotta have this game. Okay, and what did the defense do? They stepped up for 2 quarters. But then once again, you go in the locker room and come out. What happens? Just like they did against the Georgia Bulldogs. Stepped up for 2 quarters and came out and laid down on their damn job by allowing 170 yards rushing in the second half. 170 yards and 2 touchdowns rushing in the second half. That's what they did. And another touchdown passing. Giving up 24 points in the second half. You see bits and pieces of what they can do. But you don't see those bits and pieces for 4 entire quarters. So how you expect to make the damn playoffs? Let me know. Frustration is building up within this fan base. You can't tell me it ain't. But yeah, man. AJ McCarron put it out there. The only thing I disagree with AJ McCarron on is the NIL. Yeah, and I agree with everybody else that say it's the NIL. Because you got those players out there that's playing hard, putting their money on. I ain't saying these Alabama players ain't playing hard. But what I am saying is we ain't playing hard as a team. We ain't coming together as a team. It is evident by Caleb Odom what he said or what he retweeted or reposted. By what CJ Dupree said. By what freaking Nick Sheridan said. You got your wide receivers out there imitating playing basketball during a football game. And what do he go on to say in the post-game conference when the reporter asks him about it? Everything that goes on the field, that's what we coach. Wrong damn answer. I know you're trying to be an asshole, but that is the wrong freaking answer. We coach everything that goes on the field. And that's what you get. Damn shame. Damn shame. People want to talk about Malachi Moore. At least Malachi Moore showed frustration. I just wish he would have did it earlier in the game. Maybe it would have lit a fire under everybody else. But hey, you can't knock Malachi Moore. But you can knock those two wide receivers for doing that shit. You can knock Nick Sheridan for his damn answer. It's crazy. And then you got Coach Kalen DeBoer talking about they ain't got no killer instinct. Well, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Oh, man. It is crazy. It is crazy. But hey, it is what it is, man. This is what Alabama football is right now. So the rest of 2024, I don't think we're going to see nothing no different. Not just me. You done seen it for 3.5 games. How much more is going to have to take? You think this Alabama team can just flip the switch? Shit, no. Shit, no. It's been proven. They might can flip it for a half. But for an entire 60 minutes, 4 quarters, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I just don't see it happening. But it is what it is. A quarterback don't know what's going on here. Have y'all noticed when they pan over to the sideline, where is Jalen Milroe? Who is he talking to? By himself, not talking to no damn body. Come on, baby. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. And I was watching the Bama Standard last night. I like watching those guys. Stephen M. Smith, he made a damn point. Nick Sheridan need to get his ass out that damn booth and be down there to talk to Jalen Milroe. What are you seeing? What's going on? Come on now. He already looked like his damn confidence going any damn way. Hell, and I don't blame him with the way he playing. Shit. I think both coordinators need to be on the goddamn field. And this damn Kane Womack and his shit. Yeah, oh my goodness. Man, this is Kane Womack. Man, I wish I had an index card or something. The Kane Womack, man, this is him. Calling some bullshit off of fucking flashcards. Fucking jibber jabber. That's what he doing. That's what he doing. Calling out some damn jibber jabber. Your plays is on fucking flashcards, man. The shit ain't working any goddamn way. Them players need to just get out there. This the play. Call your own shit. Jalen Milroe, call your own shit. Because it's evident that Nick Sheridan don't have a fucking clue. Don't have a fucking clue. Hell, and I got some guys subscribed to my page from up there in Washington that followed the Washington Huskies and Coach Kalen DeBoer. And they say that Coach Kalen DeBoer had the same issues at Washington as far as discipline. Well, damn. That was new. So they had the same shit going on up there at Washington. Coach friendly. And you get ran all the fuck over. So hey. And just like Marvin Constant say, he ain't never seen a nice coach win a national championship. Or a coach that wasn't an asshole win national championships. Just putting it out there. And it is what it is. Just like Coach Kalen DeBoer say, we are becoming accustomed to this. But I, for one, as an Alabama Crimson Tide fan, will not accept it. I'd rather be disappointed and frustrated than accept the lackluster, mediocre team that I've seen against Vanderbilt, South Carolina, and Tennessee. I'd rather be pissed off, frustrated, and angry than accept that bullshit. But I got to tell you, I love my Alabama Crimson Tide. And just because I sit up here and talk about them and call their ass out and say it like it is, don't mean I'm not a diehard Alabama fan. And it don't mean that anybody else doing the same shit that I'm doing is not a diehard Alabama fan. It's just the fact that we are concerned about where this program is going and not accepting and making excuses for what this team is doing and looking like right now. Because if you're saying it's NIL, if you're saying, oh, they got to get used to each other, the players got to get used to the coaches got to get used to the players. They are young. A lot of them just fresh. Those are excuses. Because those guys knew what the standard was when they signed their letter of intent to play for my Alabama Crimson Tide. They knew what the standard was. So those are just excuses. Hell, the players should have got to know the coaches, and the coaches should have got to know the players during the spring, during the summer, during the fall. No excuse. None whatsoever. So if y'all fans that are making the excuses want to make the excuse, well, just accept what you got right now. Because I ain't. And I ain't going to make no excuses for them. That's the bottom line. But I will continue to say that I'm going to ride for my Alabama Crimson Tide, win or lose, because that's what I'm going to do. No doubt about that. But also I'm going to do what I'm doing now and call their ass out and call out what I see. Because guess what? Because I care. Ain't nothing wrong with criticizing your team and at the same time you support them. That's what you do with your kids. When they fuck up, you going to call them out. That's what you supposed to do. But at the same time, you supporting them when they doing what they supposed to do. That's what you supposed to do. You support them when they doing what they supposed to do, but when they ain't doing what they supposed to do, you get on their ass. That don't mean you don't care. You just want to see them succeed and go in the right damn direction. And that's what we want for our Alabama Crimson Tide. At least that's what I want. So, hey. But they ain't going to no damn playoffs. Not in 2024. I'll tell you that right now. Well, I done told you. But anyway, let me get off my little rant. And we got a game coming up this weekend against those Missouri Tigers. Hopefully, we are in the lab preparing, doing what we got to do to pull out a victory at all costs. At all costs. All right, so y'all remember, be blessed. And KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. And roll damn Tide.